This is Catching Up with the Corn Dogs, and I am Andrew Mild. And on this episode, we talked to pitcher Bryce Schaum, who's going to be entering his freshman year at Carthage College. He is an alum of Munster High School, where he dominated, struck out over 100 hitters over the duration of the season. And we kind of talk about how he was able to jump from just 4 innings his sophomore year to tripling that by a lot. He significantly improved in just a 2-year span after missing his junior year because of COVID-19 in 2020. So I hope you enjoy the podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and notify. You can find all your Catching Up with the Corn Dog episodes on the YouTube page and on the Lake County Corn Dogs website. And with that, let's meet Bryce Schaum. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the third episode of the Lake County Baseball Podcast. I'm Andrew Mild with two-way player Bryce Schaum. And Bryce, thanks for joining the show today. And first question I have to ask you is, why did you want to join the Lake County baseball team?
So I was reached out to by the head of my organization for the travel team I played for the last 6 years. And he said the new coach that was brought in to start this team and everything, he said he was a really good guy and that they were interested in having me. And I mean, I kind of looked into him, and like we had a phone call, hopped on one, we talked for a little while, and it seemed like a really good place to play at, and seemed like I was going to be able to develop a lot there.
Yeah, and you're referring to Justin Heisman, the manager of the squad, who actually pitched in the major leagues for the Kansas City Royals. So the next question is, you're talking about development, is you lost 2020, your junior year. What did you do during the spring and the summer before you entered your senior year at Munster?
So with losing our junior year, that was kind of a heartbreaker because of the team that we thought we were going to bring in for our high school season. Thought we were going to do a lot. And, being quarantined, not being able to leave the house much, I was kind of faced like challenges to get what we can done. But like for me personally, I was able to set up a station in my basement. I have a lot of areas. So I had my plyo balls, and just every day I'd be in the basement and just getting my stuff in. Like I'd throw every other day, lift every day with what I could. So I mean, I feel like that developed me a little bit for not being able to get out and like throw an actual baseball anywhere really. And then into that summer, I was traveling with the Morris Chiefs, and our coaches just got us all the looks that we could ever ask for what we could have gotten with no Division 1s or 2s being able to come out. We were still all heavily recruited. Like our coaches did a great job with that, and they set us up with some great competition. So
great.
And then
yeah, it seems like you got creative during your quarantine in the basement.
Yeah, my setup was at first we put, I think it was 6 layers of cardboard on our wall, and we tried to tape it, but that didn't really last too long without falling off. So we moved to probably about an 8-foot table, set it up on the wall, and just put a pad over it. And that's how I've been doing that, and I still use it here and there. So.
And is like you and your dad, or do you have a brother that also plays baseball?
It's me. My grandpa helped me set it up.
Oh, your grandpa. Well, that'd be fun then.
Yeah.
So it must have worked. The cardboard, the table, all that must have worked, because in 2019 you said, well, maybe I tossed 4 innings, but by next year you times that by 9 and then more. Is you went 63 in the third innings. You struck out 110 hitters during those innings. How did you take such a large jump in 2 years?
I mean, I think it was obviously I knew what I had in me, but obviously my sophomore year, I wasn't necessarily at a point where I wanted to be. Like I wasn't at the standard I wanted to have, and I think pushing me, seeing like I only threw 4 innings with our varsity team my sophomore year. Even I was scheduled for more, just rainouts in Northwest Indiana happen a lot.
Right.
But seeing that, I kind of wanted to become that guy and be like going to the next stage, like next level after high school. And I knew I had to make some jump. And then, I mean, working out, I mean, the trainers and coaches I've had throughout the years, I give them all the credit. They've pushed me. Then yeah, my senior year, Coach Schinken, he really gave me an opportunity and kind of just let me run with it.
Yeah, it seems like you're very humble. And I like that so far, even though we've lost you. Your camera must have went out. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, it's all right. And during that season, you had maybe one of the best streaks I've ever seen by a high school pitcher from this area. I mean, in 6 starts, you went 39 in the 3rd innings, struck out 72, and had an ERA of 1.06. And with it being high school ball, it was only 7-inning ball games. So that's 42 innings. You pitched just under 3 innings less. Like you were in some type of zone out there. What were you feeling every time you took the mound?
Just it's hard to explain. It was just after my first start of the year, I got kind of in a groove, and every mechanic I had felt like it was flowing well. All my stuff felt like it was moving the way I wanted to. I had command of everything, and then just my confidence after those, especially after the first start. I know my first conference start was against Andrean, who's all the credit to them. Great ball club, and yeah, they've been known around the region to be the team, like the team to beat around here.
Yeah, they're basically the New York Yankees of Northwest Indiana.
Yeah, and seeing that I got my first conference start of the year against them, that was a really big win. Like, let's go do it. I want to be the guy to do it and beat them. And I mean, yeah, Coach Shaga, I think I earned his trust with everything when he would say, like, talk to me in like 5th, 6th innings after that, and he'd be like, "Oh, like, are you okay? Like, we might start warming up someone else." And I really look him in the eyes. I'm like, "No, I'm good. Like, I'm gonna go back out. Like, I'm fine." And he trusted me with it. When I told him I was fine, he's like, "It's yours then to have it." So
yeah, it definitely seems like you guys had a good dynamic in the dugout with one another. And I'm pretty sure I read that when you pitched against Andrean, you struck out 14 and walked none. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would see why you were feeling pretty confident after that start.
Yeah.
You said your stuff and you had control, and I was reading one of the stories written about you, and there's like this some sort of magical pitch, and I asked you to bring a baseball to kind of show me what it is. It's not a 12-6, it's not a slider, but you said you can manipulate it to create some late movement. So what is it? What would you classify it as?
So I kind of like, I hold it like this a little bit, if you could see it there, like straight across. And yeah, I don't consider it a curveball or slide. It's like a slurve type thing, like in the middle there. And I mean, I kind of just, I get it. I grip pretty tight, and then I don't necessarily throw like a traditional curveball coming over the top, like snapping it over to get the up down, but I don't throw it like the straight slider to cut across. And I mean, I kind of like a mixture of it where it starts like I'm gonna throw a slider, and then I snap it a little bit to get that, like, the drop with it moving across that much. And like, I think the best part about it was, since it's not a traditional either one, I can kind of, how I said, like, manipulate it to make it sometimes like tighter almost, where it doesn't drop as much, but it's gonna cut across more, or even if I can make it looser and like drop more instead of cutting across, because I kind of found that helpful, as no matter like how good you are, if you have the one curveball, it's moving the same way every time, hitters are going to eventually pick up on that. Right. And I've found, like, if I can make them look different and like move differently a little bit, like, I think that's got to be a big successful point on me.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Yu Darvish from the Padres, where he says he has 5 pitches, but he can take one pitch and manipulate it to do various things. So it's opening everything else up to him to have like 9, 10 pitches. So it's kind of like what you're trying to do there with that pitch. So what would you call it? Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Major League 2, but Rick Vaughn starts naming his pitches in that movie. So I'm going to ask you, what would you name that pitch if you had the opportunity?
I think I'd keep it traditional and just call it a slurve.
Call it a slurve. Okay.
I've been hearing that for years now, and I've kind of just, when people ask, that's kind of what I tell them. So.
And another part we've been talking about your pitching, but you also were a pretty good hitter. You hit a couple of big home runs for Munster. You gave a good grimace there. You're wearing your Carthage College hoodie. Are you going to be a two-way player for them and then also for Lake County when the summer comes around?
No,
No.
I've hung up the bat, and I knew my place after high school, and I'm just gonna be pitching from now on.
Well, maybe you'll be the best fungal golf player.
I still got the swing a little bit, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's not completely gone.
All right, so now for some fun questions. We don't have to talk about baseball the entire time. So let me ask you this. What's a non-baseball song that reminds you of baseball?
Good time.
Good time?
Yeah, I can't think of the artist necessarily right now off the top of my head, but it's a song it's like kind of upbeat, and it's like, it just puts me in a good mood, and like how I'm feeling like when I'm just having fun with the guys out there.
And was that on your playlist, or is that something that got played over the intercoms?
It's in my playlist.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, because when I played for Crown Point Cal Ripken when I was 12, it was remember the name? Yeah, remember the name. They played that song like every game because it was the most modern song they had. So whenever I think of baseball, that's the song I think of. So I'm glad we both went the same way with that.
Yeah.
If you could sit down and talk to any baseball player ever, who would it be and why?
Any player ever. I think I would have to go with Max Scherzer.
Max.
I think just I wouldn't say he's my favorite player necessarily, but just the way he like holds himself on the mound, and like how he throws, and kind of like the confidence that he does excel, and like the energy he brings to the field every day. I think he's someone that if I had a conversation with, like, definitely could learn a lot more about the game, and like how to like read on hitters. I think it would just be a very like useful experience with him.
Yeah, and Mad Max is such a good nickname for him that you brought him up, because my favorite personal memory of Max Scherzer is when he was bunting and batting practice and the ball hit him in the eye.
Black eye.
So he skipped his start and then went to another start, and he looks like he's always intimidating as it is, but now he's up there with this black eye, and he wanted to strike everyone out as he usually does. But it was funny because he always has that his two eyes are different, and then you add that black eye, it was like a trifecta. Yeah. What would you say is your favorite Max Scherzer moment?
I mean, there's a good amount. I mean, I grew into loving him on the mound because when he was on Detroit. I've been a Detroit fan growing up, but I think honestly my favorite memory was his almost perfect game against Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's right.
They ruined it, like leaning into the pitch. I think that was, I almost still consider it one, just because, I mean, I think that's one of the best outings I've seen. It's definitely between that or his 20 strikeout game.
Yeah. You know, it's the great part about Max Scherzer is that when he got that 20 strikeout game, I was in the fantasy league championship and I had Max Scherzer. So that performance single-handedly carried me over the threshold to win the championship. So I almost want to buy a championship ring and send it to him like 5 years after he did it. So that's all the questions I have. Do you have anything you want to say to the Lake County baseball fans before the season comes up in May?
Just I'm ready for it. I'm kind of looking forward to it, see the whole experience of the league and everything, and I think it's going to be a really fun time. Excited to see everyone out there. So I mean, just looking forward to it a little bit.
Your pitcher Bryce Schaum is ready to go, and so is his Bass Pro Shops hat. I hope to see that around the ballpark. Maybe before you pitch, you get to warm up with it on. That's all I want. That's all I ask. So thanks for joining me. It was a great time.
I can't wait to see you in May. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great season, and I can't wait to see the fans file in and see that slurve get the good use against some hitters in the league. So that's going to be it for the third episode of the Lake County Baseball Podcast. I'm Andrew Mile with Bryce Schaum. We'll see you next time.